Okay, we're back for the last segment here for what we're doing right now. We did cardiovascular, we did respiratory, and now we're going to look at a system that's really magical. I think it's awesome, it's magical. It's your urinary system. Renal is often called, refers to kidneys, but a urinary system. What makes it so awesome is that, as we said, your cells have to 24/7 have good and bad. Well, the bad stuff that comes out of cells goes into your blood vascular system, and you have to get rid of it. Otherwise, it would accumulate in your body and become toxic, and you're out of here, you know. So those of you may know of someone doing renal dialysis. Renal refers to kidney. It's using artificial means to clean up the blood. So what's amazing is your kidneys do that. And notice I said kidneys. You have two kidneys. And here's where they're located. I'm not going to remove all this viscera. That's what you call this stuff, viscera. Okay, your gut, your liver, your intestines, spleen, stomach is right there. You know, you have all these parts. So we're not going to remove that one. I have one here. So like the TV cook. It's already moved. And what happens is the kidneys are here. So the kidneys are really in the back because you'd have all your organs stuck here. So the kidneys are really like here. So for sports, especially quarterbacks, anybody that's up, you know, quarterback comes up to throw, it can take a real hard hit and get the kidneys bruised, and that can be a problem. Also, boxers often wear something like that, so it's important. And here are the two kidneys. They're located outside of a covering that covers all of this stuff that's not seen, called your peritoneum. The kidneys are located outside of it, and it's called, they're associated, they're called retroperitoneal. And because of that association outside of the peritoneum, a pretty cool thing can be done with the body called peritoneal dialysis. So you can do a machine or you can do peritoneal dialysis, okay? So here they are here, and you see blood vessels going to the kidneys. And located on the kidneys, something we're not going to really talk about in this series, is some tissue called your adrenals. So adrenal gland, adrenaline. That's when you get excited, you're walking down the street and a pit bull jumps out and goes, "Arr!" And you're like, well, I got to get out of here, and you get scared and you run. So what happens is it pumps out adrenaline, and it allows you to, you know, get ready for what's called fight or flight. Here's a model of the kidney, and the kidney works in a real interesting way. Here's what the kidney does. It cleans up your blood, but here's how it does it. Your blood gets filtered, okay, in a thing called the glomerulus. That's in the kidneys, right here. And these little red parts here, these red parts here. And they throw out in the first phase of kidney function. Kidney operates by three things. It throws out good stuff and bad stuff. Wow. It gets rid of good and bad. And then what happens is it pulls back the good stuff. And it's right here. This thing right here is this one right here. So this little guy right here, here's a blown up one, okay? So if we were following this little guy right here, see this part? It's right here. It goes to a wiggled up part called convoluted tubule. And then it goes to a portion that goes down and it comes back up and it wiggles up one more time, and then it joins to this white one right here called a collecting duct where your urine is. So in the first phase of kidney function, what happens is the kidney throws out good stuff and bad stuff. That's in the glomerulus, okay? And then right after that, in the proximal convoluted tubule, proximal means close, distal means further away. Proximal, close, distal, further away. So in the proximal convoluted tubule, the kidney will actively take back stuff that it needs, okay? That's pretty cool. So that's leading towards urine being produced. Then as it goes down here, it can modify ions, sodium and chlorine, and it just depends, okay? Potassium, it can modify that, and then it gets up here to the distal convoluted tubule, may work on it a little bit more, and then when it gets to here, you can really work on water. So you can go all day, drink no water, okay, that's really bad, but your body is smart enough to know to keep water. So on days that you don't drink much water, you're not going to urinate very much. But if you drink water all the time, you're going to have a copious production of urine. That's pretty smart. So if you eat potato chips and do all that, you don't even think about it. So it's really miraculous. Then this goes down and it dumps into these areas called calyces. You have minor calyces and major calyces, okay? Minor calyces and major calyces, and then it goes down to the ureter. That goes down to the bladder. Ureter's duct that goes. You have one from each kidney. Ureters. I don't see it on here, but they would go down to the bladder here. The bladder collects the urine, and of course after a while you go, ooh, I have to go to the bathroom, because it stretches, and then you go to the bathroom to relieve yourself, okay? And then the urine goes out. So it's a pretty cool process. So the kidneys is important for controlling electrolytes, it's like sodium, chlorine, potassium, hydrogen ions. If you remember from the first chapter, hydrogen ions have to do with the pH of the blood. pH is real important, because your pH of your blood has to stay right on point. If it gets too high or too low, you get real sick. You don't correct it, you're dead, okay? So kidney function is real important because it controls the pH of the body. Also, if you have a lot of fluid, it helps to get rid of the fluid, okay? And if you need to keep fluid, then it keeps fluid. That's pretty amazing, okay? So the kidney is a pretty awesome machine that allows you to keep things right. So again, going to the internet, you can look at animations and simulations of kidney function, urine production, and it's real exciting, okay? So you should celebrate, yes, I urinated today. Every time that you urinate, you should like give a big shout out, high five, because that keeps you alive, okay? Because if you don't produce the urine in 3 days, if you don't get dialysis, you're going to go down, and it will take you out. I had an aunt when I was a kid that died from uremic poisoning because they didn't have dialysis at that time. But if she were alive today, they'd have on dialysis, and she could live, you know, quite long. Persons on dialysis is a labor of love. Up on Tidewater Drive, that's a dialysis center, and you see persons going in there. They go every 2 days, 3 days. And after the dialysis, they feel really bad, and by the time they get together, they got to go back again. So watch out and take care of your kidneys, okay? So that's the urinary system. Again, look at it. Now remember, everything that we talk about, you want to think in terms of the silent killer, TB, because TB can ravage all systems of the body. So we're going to come back, not right now, we're going to come back with the digestive system, and we're going to look at the reproductive system, and then that'll kind of be a wrap for us. All right, so that's it.